Fasten your seatbelt. Put on your helmet. This is
Mojo Mondays.
Hello, everybody. So, yeah, this is how I really look, but kind of not. Like, I swear I'm not intending to put a filter on this. But what's happening is it's currently, what time is it? 4:09 p.m. here in Los Angeles. And the sun is starting to go down a little bit. So it's darker outside, although you wouldn't know by looking back there. And so apparently my Mac Studio does this. But I'm not trying to look younger than I really am. I'm wearing no makeup because this is how I really look at home. All the other creative professors, Mojo Mondays, have been me coming straight from school. But I didn't go to school today because we're having an independent research day, and tomorrow is Veterans Day, so it's a holiday tomorrow as well. So, welcome to this week's episode of Mojo Mondays. I almost was going to say that this is a very special episode of Mojo Mondays because this isn't like a high-powered rah-rah one. Yesterday, my 26-year-old daughter went to a memorial service for a friend of hers from middle school. This wasn't a best friend or a close friend. The people that she went, it was an intimate little memorial at someone's house of the dads of the young man who passed away. And my daughter hadn't seen these people in over 10 years. They all went to middle school together. And then life kind of happened and everybody went their own ways. And then word got around the friend group through social media that this person had passed away, and the family decided to go ahead and host a memorial service in their home. And so my daughter and her friends that she hadn't seen in a million years went. And she told me a story when she was describing what happened to me. When she was describing to me what happened. That was the inspiration for this Mojo Mondays as well as my blog, and probably going to be the Tracy Schoblum Show too, because it's such a powerful concept. And that is, you know how every memorial service that you go to, they have the video montage of the person's life, right? So this young man died at, I think it was 26. And there was a video montage, and in it his family was singing happy birthday to you, and at the end, someone always throws it, and many more, right? And we all laugh and clap and blow out the candles, and that's what we think of. But the truth is that not everybody gets many more. And it hit Leah. She was like, he didn't get many more, and it was depressing as heck. Okay. And so it got me thinking about that, about how we all think we have more time. I remember when my husband died, at the end of his life, he fought the cancer really, really hard. He had pancreatic cancer, fought it for 1.5 years. And then he died at the age of 79, about 7 months before he was going to turn 80. And he did not want to die. Like, he was fighting it till his last breath and then some. And I remember when he finally realized that he was going to die, that he realized that it was really happening. And he said to me, he goes, Tracy, I can't believe it's over. I can't believe this adventure is over. So here's someone who's 79 and wants to continue the adventure, and someone who was 26 and didn't get to continue it either. And so often we in our lives think, oh, well, I'll just do it next week, or I have time, or I have more chances to redo this, or just let me do this one thing first, okay? And we often don't, not we often, at some point it happens to everybody where you don't get the chance. Time runs out on all of us. But our brains are kind of hardwired for tomorrow, for the next thing. When we're in the moment, we're thinking about what's next. In reality, though, that's not what is true. We don't know when our last moment is. And so because of that, we have to stay. We can't we can't operate on that every minute of every day being afraid we're going to die. Then you become paralyzed. But we also can't take it for granted. So that's where I start, my creative professor stuff kicks in, which is, okay, if it is true that we do not have any idea how long we're going to live, then what? Because when my husband died, when my best friend died, when my parents died, my son lost his best friend, or one of his best friends, at the age of 16. I remember every time somebody dies like this, I think, well, what's the point? What's the point of life then, right? Either everything matters or nothing matters. And I get a little nihilistic and I'm like, oh, nothing matters. It's not true. In actuality, everything matters. Every single thing matters. All the little mundane stuff matters. And we can use creativity to make our lives better in every little moment. Creativity isn't just art. It's not painting. It's not photographing. It's not singing or acting or dancing. It's those things. But it's also, how do I spend more time with the people that matter to me? In my classes, I do a simulation that's called the Create Your Life simulation. It's through Harvard Business School. And in that simulation, students go through a 15-year, it's an online exercise that leads you through 15 years of your life, where you make decisions about what job to take or what to prioritize. So one of the things is you fell down and, tore your ACL. And so, how are you going to handle that? And how are you going to blah, blah, blah? And are you going to go to your friend's wedding when you have work? So it's a series of decision making that then at the end, decisions are decision trees and eliminate certain options by making others. And then at the end, you evaluate whether you lived a well-lived life in several core areas of life. And then I have them write a reflective essay going, okay, you learned a lot about yourself and about what matters to you. Is your current life living up to that? Is your current life and the way that you actually spend your time every day living in alignment with the things that you say you really value? And if there's a gap between what you really value and how you're spending your time and your money and your other resources, then you need to fix that. Otherwise, there's a dissonance that causes stress and anxiety. We have one birthday a year, right? But in between those 365 days or 364 days, in between the 2 days, are 365 opportunities for you to craft the life that you want every single day. There's a poem, I don't remember who wrote it, about the dash, and it's on your headstone when you're buried. So, you live from 1966 to whatever. Now, my birth year is the same number as the Super Bowl. And that's how the people in my life remember how old I am. They just go look up what Super Bowl's coming. So in January of the year that I'm recording this, next year, is Super Bowl 60, and I'm turning 60. And so this is an opportunity for me to look at my life and say, okay, I've been on this earth for 60 years. What matters to me now? Because it shifts over time. And you have to be able to have a creative life analysis to say, okay, what matters to me now? My children are grown. My husband died. I'm reinventing my life again for the third time. But this time I'm reinventing my life where it's only me and my animals that I have to consider. Obviously I consider my children and my grandchildren and things like that. But on a day-to-day, how I spend every hour, it's mostly just me and my animals and how am I crafting the life that I want. So, when Leah went to this funeral, memorial service, reunion, if you will, she noticed that every person's life kind of has taken a different trajectory. So one of her friends has become an EMT and is dedicated his life to taking care of people who are in crisis and in need. Another friend has gotten married. Another one has a child. Now Leah is looking around going, whoa, I'm not married. I'm still in school. I don't have any kids. And these kinds of opportunities where you go and you see people that you haven't seen in a really long time, And most of those people remember you as the you that you were at an earlier stage in your life, right? You go to a family reunion, you go to a funeral, you go to a wedding, and all the family and friends are like, oh, whatever happened to blah, 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 okay? You have grown and evolved since then, but the key is, and this is what this is all about today, is that you have the opportunity to create how you evolve, where you're going, so that the next time you're in that situation with friends, family, class reunions, funerals, weddings, birthdays, and people say, oh, whatever happened to that, you have an intentional answer that is something that you crafted based on living your life in alignment with your values. Loss, and I'm looking down at notes because I made notes because I don't want to forget anything important. But loss reminds us of several things. It reminds us of how quickly time passes. It reminds us of the way that we have changed and grown over time, the things that we've lost, the decisions that we've made that caused other life paths to go away. And it allows us to see that creativity is a way to not only stretch time, to turn a moment into something that lasts, but to guide time, to guide your life in a way that is more consistent. And of course, it all starts with knowing what really matters to you and also realizing that what matters to you shifts over time. So for you, for today, what I would like for you to do as a takeaway is think about your life, whatever age you are that you're listening to this, and think about what your life is going to be like in 15 years or even in 15 months or 15 minutes. And think, what can I do right now? What is something that I can do right now that can guide my life along the path that I want to be going? Now, that sounds nice and lofty and big. Okay, so what does it actually mean? What that means is that in the next 15 minutes to an hour, so by tomorrow for sure. Oh, that's one of my clients who just started working out with a personal trainer. And when I called her for our weekly session, she was in the midst of personal training with this fellow because her session had run long. And she was getting her butt kicked at 59 years old by a personal trainer because I talked to her about the same thing, which is what's one thing that you can do. So she got off the phone with me a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and signed up with a personal trainer because she did not want to enter her 60s in the physical condition that she was in. So what's one thing that you can do? What's one thing? Whether it's, okay, I'm going to buy a book or go to the library if you're stretched for funds and learn something new. I want to learn how to garden. I want to download an exercise program. I want to go on YouTube and learn how to cook healthy food. I want to call someone that I haven't seen in a decade and say, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Let's get together. So if you value friends, call your friends. If you value money, if you're broke, use creative brainstorming to come up with some ways to save money, make money, go through your budget, take a look at your checking account and see where you're spending your money. One little action and think, how can I get creative? How can I get creative? Because that's what creativity is. Creativity is, you don't have to write a screenplay. You don't have to have this be your opus. Creativity is our human superpower that allows us to live our lives every day and handle the things that come with us. So that at the end of our lives, when you're 79 and you're on your deathbed and you're like, damn, it's over? I had so much I didn't get to do. He did a lot, my husband did. But there was so much more that he wanted to do. He wanted to sail to Hawaii. He wanted to take me to the places that mattered to him when he was younger. He wanted to look up the family of some of the people who'd passed away that he served with in Vietnam. He wanted to do a lot. And when he got sick, we tried to cram as much of it in as possible, which is how we ended up married. But it wasn't enough time. So don't wait. Don't wait If you don't have money to go on the vacation, that's fine. Not now. But you can certainly listen to some music and have a meal and look at photos and dream and create a vision board. You can do all those things today to move you in the direction of the life that you want. All right? So that's it. See you next week on Mojo Mondays with who? The Creative Professor.